Welcome, Cobra fans. I'm Will LaRue, he's Lee Lewis, and you are watching the Cobra Weekly Update. We hope you enjoyed our new graphic intro, and we want to thank our friend Jason Holmes, founder and CEO of Thrive Fuel, a digital marketing company out of Victoria, for taking the time to make that video for us and do a fantastic job and give us the best high school intro in the country, Lee.
Yeah, it gave me chills. I love it, Will. This year, we're going to be bringing you the best coverage possible. But know that it is not without a lot of work from several people, one of them being this guy to my left right here. This year, our crew has had to get bigger, and our platform and plans to bring you Cobra Sports have grown. Our plan is to bring you every Cobra Sports update every Wednesday night here on the Cobra Sports Show. And in addition to that, the weekly show, we're going to be bringing you every sport live as you watch it happen. So be sure to turn on your notifications, tune into YouTube so you don't miss a single thing. I know we've achieved our 1,000 subscriber goal, a grand goal, but more subscribers mean more money into this athletic department, and keep honoring these kids and pushing those subscriptions, all right? Plus, remember, hey, it's free.
Can't go wrong with free.
No.
Everybody likes free, Lee. Last season, folks, we started the Fan of the Week deal, and with the Fan of the Week, folks, sponsored by Sisters Design, was an awesome thing. We had a great response to it, by the way, too, with a lot of folks coming, being nominated last year. And this season, we're bringing it back again. But we're looking for more nominees, and we need your help to nominate somebody. So please, get on Facebook, go to the Athletic Booster Club Facebook page, find the post with the flyer that you see on your screen, and comment or email us at industrialbroadcastteam@gmail.com. Tell us why your nominee is the biggest Cobra fan. We're going to take the 5 nominees that are selected this season. They get to join us in the booth during a home varsity football game. And they also get the coveted Fan of the Week t-shirt.
There's the real prize.
Brought to you by Sisters Designs. So get on, nominate a fan today. Now, let's dive into last week's sporting events, Lee.
Absolutely.
Last week, the Cobras played Columbia, West Columbia, that is, and they wrapped up their scrimmage season playing a complete half of football. The Cobras came out energetic and focused, and the energy showed on the field as well. As the starting defense was a whole lot stingy, actually, that entire night. They were in the backfield a whole lot. The Roughnecks had a rough time dealing with our defensive linemen, Cullen Dyson, Dylan Rearick, and Clayton Roundtree. Linebackers Brady Cope and Bo Bethany, they were absolutely outstanding, disrupting the Roughnecks' run game. Nick Kuchler also had an interception in that game as well. On the offensive side of the ball, the Cobras were clicking on all cylinders. Cade Kubeka scored twice. The first score came on this beautiful 45-yard play-action pass from Ashton Garza.
Yeah, and you could just see the beautiful touch on that ball. We're really seeing the maturation of Ashton Garza as a quarterback.
Absolutely. The second score, Lee, came when Cade would score from 52 yards out this time on a jet sweep run.
Well, and I think what really worked, what set that play up, was the great blocking on the edge by Major LaRue and Holden McMullen. That really created that opportunity for the second score.
Was doing a good job on the blocking side of things, but look at the speed on Cade Kubeka there, the senior, getting after it. But, Columbia would not allow that to happen. They would come back later on. They would score again to tie it up. But with 1 second left on the clock, Bryce Warren, the junior, would come in, split the uprights from 20 yards out, and kick that game-winning field goal. Cobras take it 17-14 in the first half of the season.
That's how you win a scrimmage.
That's it. Sub-varsity level.
Sub-varsity. They competed in a dual scrimmage against the Roughnecks, combined 9th grade in JV. The young Cobras struggled against the size and speed of that bigger school, but I will tell you, they were able to score a couple times, held the Roughnecks on some big key drives where the defense stopped, stood up, and really kept West Columbia in check. It was the exact kind of competition that a coaching staff loves early in the season. It gave them a chance to really evaluate where this program is at, what they need to tweak, what they need to work on as they get set for non-district to start this week.
That's right. And this week, sub-varsity will be home here against Yoakum. The freshman and JV teams are combined this week. They're playing one game. That was notified earlier the week. And so we will be bringing that to you tomorrow here at the pit. Cobra Sports Network coverage starts at 5:30.
And right after that, on Friday, we will bring the varsity to you. Varsity will be in Yoakum. Make note, game time has changed. Game has been moved to 7 o'clock, which means the pregame show, the old Dink and Dunk pregame show, will be airing at 6:30. Tune in on your Cobra Sports Network if you can't make it up to Yoakum.
Absolutely. And you don't want to miss that, but you also don't want to miss youth football as well. That's going on as well. They started their season here at the pit as well this past Saturday. Unfortunately, it fell to some really good Tidehaven teams, but they're going to be back in action again here at the pit as they host Bay City this Saturday. So come out, support the young ones as they begin their football careers in Cobra in uniforms. Coverage here starts with the PB game starting at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and one of the fun things, Will, one of the guys that actually coached with Coach Neri, Coach Schugert, has now taken on one of those teams, and he's teaching those young kids some of the varsity level defensive scheming. So it'll be interesting to see as those guys begin their Cobra careers what it progresses to over the junior high and high school ages.
Moving on to volleyball. And then after I get to started. Right? The Lady Cobras volleyball team started out their season under new head coach Tara Dunn. They played an exciting brand of volleyball this year. With only one senior on the roster, libero Faith Varial, and the Lady Cobras are somewhat a young team in one of the tougher 3A districts in the state. With defending Region 4 champion Columbus Cardinal squad looking very strong early in the season as they attempted to repeat as district champions again. Coach Dunn has scheduled a gauntlet to begin this season as the Lady Cobras schedule is littered with teams that made deep runs into the state playoffs last year. So the young Cobra squad has had to grow up really quick over the last few weeks as well to be able to compete early in the season. So while their overall record is not where they would like to be, Lady Cobras are showing flashes of very good volleyball since the start of August. And with a little more consistency, Lady Cobras should start stringing some victories together and start being able to compete for one of those playoff spots in District 25 3A.
Yeah, you said it. 25 3A is just an absolutely tough district. Every year you're going to see somebody from that district go deep in the region, and no doubt it will be the same this year. Last week, the Lady Cobras hosted perennial powerhouse in the 4A division, Cuero Lady Gobblers, for their first home game of the season. Of course, Cuero, a bigger school, that squad was stacked with size on the front line. But the Lady Cobras went toe-to-toe with the Lady Gobblers and led them through most of the second set, building a 24-21 lead. However, a little flurry of late scoring pushed the Gobblers ahead to ultimately take the set 28-26 from the hometown Cobras, who lost in 3. Over the weekend, Lady Cobras were in action in Schulenburg for the annual Lady Horns volleyball tournament there. Cobras beat district rival Hallettsville on Thursday in 2 and straight sets, but then ultimately fell to Schulenburg in the second match of the day. Friday proved to be a difficult day for the Lady Cobras as they went 0-3 against East Bernard, Goliad, and Shiner. But ultimately, they did finish pool play in good shape, going into the silver bracket for tournament day, and played a very close match with Weimar where they lost 2-1. Before falling to District 25 3A rival Yoakum in the final game. So already you can see between Hallettsville, Columbus, Yoakum, that district shaping up to be every bit the competition that we expected to be. So where were they last night? Well, they were home, and we hope you were here, but if you weren't, we had it on the Cobra Sports Network. Ultimately, they played Needville, another big school, and Cobra's varsity team lost 3-1 as they went 17-25, 15-25, 28-26, and 20-25. JV was also in action against the Needville team last night as they lost 2 sets to nothing, 19-25 and 20-25. They'll be back in action this Friday, and we'll bring it to you on the Cobra Sports Network.
A couple of close games there, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, seeing some definite improvement there with that young team. Moving on to cross country. The Cobras ran in their first cross-country meet at the Yoakum Municipal Golf Course this past Saturday, and checking your screen out, it was pretty foggy morning to race in. But the varsity girls won with a combined time of 49 minutes and 32 seconds. That is a total of an average of 9 minutes and 54 seconds for the 6-person team.
Faster than us.
Yeah, a whole lot faster than us. 12 teams and a total of 85 runners competed in the race. And Industrial's very own Kate Simons finished first. Elise Bullock came in 7th. Cora Motley finished 12th. And then rounding out the winning team is Carly Barrow, Kaylee Carl, and Shelby Pletcher.
Varsity boys placed 6 out of 98 runners. Top 4 Cobras on your varsity team were Tanner White, Cristobal Gonzalez, Connor Keene, and Levi Finley. So huge showing from both varsity teams in the cross-country meet. Sub-varsity girls did well as also. They came in 2nd place overall. Addison Hunt finished 2nd. Uriah Zertucci and Allie Hoggard crossed the finish line 13th and 14th respectively. Peyton Emerson, Madison Creamer, Lindsay Ramirez, Ashley Krupa, Kaylee Cooper, Amory Fauerbacher, Presley Certucci, Lacey Linke, Aubrey Alfaro, and Daisy Molina all performed well and rounded out the JV.
Boys team made up of Nicholas Ospina, Cooper Coley, and Cullen Woodring. Levi Furbacher, Braden Warren, and Zachary Matlock finished 5th. But next week, the cross-country team will be running in the Industrial Invitational at Breckenridge. And guess what?
Are we going to be there?
Cobra Sports Network will be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah, so join me. I'm going to be going to my first cross-country meet ever. Y'all get up early, jump on, get you a nice pot of coffee going, and join us as we go live for cross-country in Breckenridge.
We can't wait to watch them at their home invitational. This team has been exceptional over the last few years, and this year, no doubt, going to be the same.
Absolutely. So don't go anywhere, though, because when we return, we're going to meet this year's first top performers in last week's varsity sports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Cobra fans. Each week, the Cobra Sports Network will award the Clark Constructors Top Performer coin to a varsity athlete in each sport. Each week, athletes will be selected by their coaches for going above and beyond in competition and practice during that week. This week's winners are volleyball, Faith Villarreal and Cecilia Jalufka.
That's right. Faith is a senior, the lone senior on the varsity team, the libero, and she has led the Cobras in digs this past weekend with 73 and 41 perfect passes on 99 attempts on serve receive. She has really been focused on her form to help the offense have more options, and the coaching staff is very excited about how hard she's working.
Next, we have junior opposite Cecilia Jalufka. Cecilia led the Cobras scoring-wise this past weekend with 28 kills. She added 2 aces and a block that was an integral part of the offense. Coaching staff tells us that they are starting to see her confidence rise, and they are extremely proud of how far she's come in these last 3 weeks.
3-year varsity letterman as well, Cecilia is. And we had another volleyball player, but she's here for cross country, and that's Kate Simons. And she was selected by Coach Elkins. Coach Elkins told us that this young lady has a strong work ethic. She's balancing time as a student and participating in both volleyball and cross country. And for her to finish first overall in this weekend's past meet against 12 schools, many of those schools being 4A and 5A, is just outstanding and truly amazing. And Coach Elkins is very proud of her effort and the results that have come from it.
Well, we are going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll sit down and discuss a little Cobra football with defensive coordinator Coach Alan Feller. So don't go anywhere, Cobra fans. We'll be right back.
The cooperative nature of it. And then when you get that patronage check once a year, we put that money right back into the land.
Together, we're better.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
So when we get just...
Welcome back, Cobra fans. We have a special treat as we talk a little X's and O's with Coach Fellers here, our defensive coordinator. Welcome, Coach.
It's great to be here. Thank y'all for putting all this on.
Yes, sir. Well, I know we got the first game of the season, regular season coming up as we look to take on Yoakum this week. Tell us a little bit about the game planning y'all have done to look at this Yoakum Bulldog team.
Well, Yoakum's an extremely explosive team. They've got a lot of speed. They've got experience coming back from last year. Last year they were real young. They had a lot of youth on the offensive line and a quarterback quarterback competition all the way up to week 1. And that's a different script this time around. They had a
they've settled that question.
Oh yeah, that was settled a long time ago. They had a move in from the Valley 5A school called Del Rio, and that quarterback his last name Taylor, and he is quite the athlete, very explosive.
I understand he's already committed to Army, so he will be playing after this year, going on to the next level.
He is a Saturday player from now on. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Have y'all specifically game planned to him? Does he bring a different look to what Yoakum typically does?
100%. He is. I've told the boys all week, he's a get out of jail free card. Even if we bottle it up exactly the way that we draw it up, we cover it in the back end exactly the way we design, we pattern match. It's a win play for us. He can turn it into a positive play for them very quickly if we don't run downhill, take proper angles to his speed.
Well, one of the things we've seen over the past few years is y'all have had several high-profile athletes y'all have had to face, both through Hallettsville with Brooks. You'll have Dodds on the schedule this year. Typically, y'all have done a really good job of game planning for those special athletes and keeping them somewhat contained.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old adage in defensive football: if you can nullify their strength and make them beat you on your weakness, that's typically a good game plan. And that's really kind of how we've rolled. It's in high school football, most offensive coordinators or head coaches that are calling the offense, when they have a star player, they're going to lean on him pretty hard. You're talking about 80% production of their offense. So if you can cut that production down, you cut their offense down quite a bit. So the challenge is, we can scheme all day long, but when it comes down to mano a mano in the hole or on the edge, chasing down and making a play, that's where we go over form tackling. We do tackle circuits for the first 4 to 5 weeks of the year, and we got to see that pan out when it comes down to live pad on pad, live one-on-one in those situations.
Well, talking about going mano a mano, your front three monos are all pretty good.
Yeah.
You're returning Rearick, Dyson, Roundtree. Does that change the way you're able to defend or scheme this year, having that kind of experience and size up front?
Oh yeah. So last year it was my first year as a job, but we really kind of rolled a lot of things from Coach Naren's time as defense coordinator. But when you have 3 guys, and really I'm going to throw in a 4th name that I hope is a little bit of a breakout player in Jay Tomorrow this year. And we have several breakout players, but he's going to be that guy that's going to add a little bit of depth to the defensive line. When you have 3 guys that can dominate 5, you're able to play 4 off of the back of them like we do that can play with speed and fit with speed. And it frees up linebackers to play instinctively. It frees up the edge players to be true edge players. They don't have to fold very often, those guys, they're so laser focused in on the defensive side of the ball because that's really where they've made their bones. and they're just super committed to it. And you know, we've got power and speed between, you know, Clayton and Dylan, and Dyson's really our speed player, but we're really excited about Clayton Roundtree sliding over that nose position and having Dylan play a little bit more free with the ball. Clayton, if we can keep him healthy on the field, he's gonna have a great year in his new position.
What kind of base defense can we expect out of the Cobras this season?
We're a base 3-4. We run a little bit of like the Dave Aranda tight system. So we play 4 eyes and head up noses, and then that, like I said, because of those 4 eyes in the B gap, we can really free up our linebackers to play instinctually, because it keeps the workup or the gap down backer from happening more often than not. So we're base 3-4. However, as we have grown, as we put in time, especially with so many starters coming back in the front 7, we're going to allow ourselves to be really multiple this year. So, you know, you're going to see us slide from different fronts probably every 2 to 3 plays. And really, I mean, we play towards formation, but our goal is to become more multiple this year. That's our goal, to keep offenses guessing.
One last question for you. Will has been very confused this year in the fact that we hear a lot about, on the defensive side, out of the Jack, the Sam, and the Mike, but he cannot find them on the roster. Can you help explain that for him?
Well, I'll go you one better. The Sam on our defense is named Sam. Yeah. So when we're in individual drills, and I say the Sam does this, Sam always turns his head. You know, we got a Sam named Sam. I mean, you know, we got some Jacks in the junior high. Maybe one of those there'll be a Jack too, and we'll just keep on this train rolling.
But yeah. Well, that helps. Did that clear it up for you?
That does. That helps me out a little bit. Now I know what to look for on the roster. We're looking for Sam. So, but Coach, you know, with the amount of guys coming back too, like you said on the defensive front, there's also a new player out there that you're having to use a lot, and that's in Zach Vardial coming up for that sophomore, having to fill in for the injured Hunter Halapaska right now. Yeah. And from what we've been seeing so far, we've been seeing a lot of good things out of him.
Yeah, Zach is a sophomore for sure. We knew pretty early on in the spring that Zach was going to be a varsity player, and that he was going to have to be one of those players that we're going to have to play through early mistakes. Losing Clarence Hosey this past year, who was really, in most respects, a 3-year starter. He moved around a little bit during his time on defense, but he was a true 3-year starter. We knew we were going to have to teach somebody. We planned on in the early spring Hunter being, you know, the solid piece of that, and we're eager for his return, but in his absence, we're having to, we just bit the bullet, and Zach's going to start, and Zach's going to play through mistakes, and as of right now, these mistakes have been minimal, and, you know, for a young kid, your biggest worry as a defensive coach with a young kid on varsity is contact and how his body handles that, you know, being amongst grown men. And I don't know if you saw it, I think it was the East Bernard scrimmage on play 3 or 4 of the defense. He lays a smack on there. Yes, I mean, he is not afraid of contact. He is a hitter. And we've always known his best attribute has been tackling. We're trying to catch him up to speed with the back end stuff, and he's done a great job. And Zach is focused on what he's doing. We got to work on the communication aspect because he's a sophomore talking to seniors, but you know, that's part of the game.
You know, he's always had a nose for the football. I've coached him since he was little down in Pee Wee, moving all the way up. And that's one thing that if I have to describe Zach, he's a football player. Yeah. Definitely is. He's always there where he needs to be. So a lot of cool things coming from him this year. We're excited to see him grow as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk a little X's and O's. Before we let Coach Fellers go, we do have one fun surprise for y'all and a little surprise for these two guys. We're going to be right back with our first edition of the game, Red Zone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Capital Farm Credit, our cooperative returns are a symbol of our strong partnership with you.
So one of the unique things about Capital Farm Credit is the cooperative nature of it. And then when you get that patronage check once a year, we put that money right back into the land.
Together, we're better.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow. No matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Welcome back, Cobra sports fans. We're here with Coach Fellers, the defensive coordinator for your Cobra football team. And we're going to play a little edition of the Red Zone. Guys, the way this works is just like the Red Zone. There are 20 questions to the goal line. So we're going to give the option of whether it's a football term or a cheerleading term or both.
Okay. Or both.
We'll let y'all keep the score on the honor system. But yeah, this is our edition of Palms or Pads. So we're going to start with an easy one. Base. The word base. Correct.
I'm cheating over here.
Correct. A base is the bottom of the stunt. They want those that lift. Although you could make a claim that there's a base offense and defense, but we'll give you that one.
I'm a baseball guy. You had me all messed up over here.
All right. Number 2, touchdown. Ooh, we wrong on both counts. This is actually a term for both football and cheerleading. In cheerleading, it means a motion that involves holding both arms parallel to each other directly overhead, much like a ref, or down towards the ground for a low touchdown.
A low touchdown.
That's
a new one for me.
We drew these off of Cheerleading 130 or cheerleadinghq.com, where 130 definitions are available to the internet. Check them out.
I'm losing here.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, blades. You are correct. Okay. It is a hand position with fingers together. Flat.
What's the spirit fingers?
Daggers.
That's got to be a cheerleading thing.
Oh, it is actually both. Daggers, a motion with both arms bent in front of the chest, elbows pointing down. Something like this. I don't know.
And what's the football one? I have calls that are dagger. But...
Yeah, a dagger is a route, deep route with it attacks underneath defenders, so they have to choose high or low.
Pass combo. Yep. Gotcha.
How about doubles?
Oh, yeah, that's probably both.
You are correct. Doubles, of course, you got twins to each side.
And straight from football practice.
Yeah, and a doubles is evidently some kind of double flipping, two flips if you're in the cheerleading world.
Okay.
There you go.
Twisty.
How about shotgun? Correct. Football term. Liberty. Cheerleading. It's the easiest single leg position in the cheer world. I do not know how the single leg position works. I just know the internet tells me it's the easiest. How about scorpion?
Well,
you get folded over like a scorpion?
Yeah, like the fall.
It is a cheerleading. It's when you're in the liberty position and you grab the toe of your bent leg.
Yeah.
You got to demonstrate that. There's too much. There's too much vocabulary there.
We'll have the cheerleaders in next week to help us out with this, since we clearly know nothing about what we're talking about. All right, we'll go back. Wing tee. Broken tee. You gonna stay with it? You gonna stay with it? It is a cheer motion.
Yeah. I say that he set us up there.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Motion. It is both. Winner to Coach Fellers. A motion is a term in cheerleading. Safety. Just football.
Oh, man. You think you have a safety on the back?
I would have thought so.
Post.
There's got to be both.
It is both. Okay. It is a single leg stunt position where the non-standing leg is as close against the standing leg as possible.
Okay.
Or, of course, a pass route. How about a stunt? Correct. Both. An acrobatic cheerleading move. Twist. Both.
Both?
Twist and a stunt.
That's crossing routes. Come on.
Stunt and twist technically cut across. How about X out? Cheerleading only. An X out is a flip in which the athlete begins in the tucked position and spreads arms and legs out into the X position.
I mean, I don't want to overthrow the moderator, but I mean, I label things X out.
I was gonna say
there is an X.
You're out of the book now. You can't do the X out.
How about double hook?
It's got to be both.
It is both.
Okay.
Cadence?
Yeah, I think that's both. Yeah.
Coffin corner.
What?
Football term. That is where the punt is to the corner of the goal line and sideline.
I did not know that.
So how about a smush or crunch?
They both, when they fall off the top, they crunch.
A smush or crunch is a cheerleading term. It is the fundamental position for cheerleading stunts and is the way of mounting or entering the stunt.
If we're playing defense right, we're smushing and crunching.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think we just don't call it.
You know, define it that way. Okay. Well, I just realized we know very little about cheerleading.
Smushing and crunch, not crack back,
Yeah,
not a
crack back,
pancake.
not pancake. Yeah, there you go.
Straightly cheerleading.
Okay.
I think we have a winner in our defensive coordinator. He
think
clearly
so.
knows his cheerleaders, and he wins this edition of the Red Zone, Palms versus Pads. Congratulations, Coach.
Well, you know, Lee, like a snake coiling its prey, this interview is now wrapped up. Turn on your notifications so you know when we have live events, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Remember, it's free. Also, share this with your family and friends and have them subscribed as well. The more subscribers we get, the more that benefits the athletic program. So come on out and get subscribed today. We'll see you Friday night at 6:30 for the pregame show. Do not want to miss that. As always, it's a great day to be a Cobra.